And then the fourth thing we said was this, man, it's going to take some daring innovation. I mean, what would it be like to have a church where it was okay to try new things versus being frowned upon, where change versus being in a rut was what you wanted, where we would step out in faith, where we would take bold moves to reach people who are far from God? What would it be like if we try things, even if we potentially fail, if it's toward reaching unchurched, de-churched people who don't know Jesus or need to come back to him? And we've just said we want to be that kind of people. We want to be the kind of people that we want to be out on the edge, not worrying about if it's going to be painful or hard. What if we come up with new ways to reach the disenfranchised, to love the unlovely, to reach the real needs of our community? I mean, this kind of trial and error thing is what created Parents' Night Out here, right? We started it, and we said, what would it look like? We're in a daycare facility. If we took a daycare facility, opened it up on Saturday nights, and invited people who normally couldn't do childcare, who normally couldn't do a date night because they can't afford it because they've lost jobs. And they've got these little bitty kids, and they need our help to be able to have a date night. So we said, y'all come, y'all sign up, come on in, and we took care of their kids, and we figured out, man, that's a great way to show the community that we love them. And then we kept doing them, and they kind of over time, we felt like lost a little bit of their effectiveness. Okay, well, we revamped, and we shifted a little bit, right? And so you have to do trial and error. You have to be innovative to be able to go to where God wants you to go if you're going to be doing something that not everybody else is doing. And we're okay with that. We're okay with that. Change-oriented culture for the glory of God. We says we need to have daring innovation. Fourthly, is we says, man, we need traditional families. We said, there's a world around us, and there are 50 to 60% of marriages that are falling apart and ended in divorce. And we just said, people are defining marriage in all these different unique kinds of ways, and they're saying that the family is kind of this unit of people, and there's all kinds of different ways to say it. But we says, what if we were a church that stood with the traditional view of family and marriage? And what if we says that we're going to be a church, we're going to be a group, we're going to be a community that really upholds God's view of marriage and the family? That we would be a place that would help husbands and wives develop and understand their roles and responsibilities. That we would help husbands and wives communicate better and deal with conflict and their finances better. And that we would be a place that would say, hey, you know what? We have compassion. We all struggle in our marriage and our relationships sometimes. And so we want to have compassion on struggling marriages. We want to fight for those marriages. And by God's grace, we're going to see them rebuilt. And we're going to see marriages come back from the pit of potential divorce. And we says, what if we partnered with you guys, with your families, to create a kids ministry that would empower you to have the kids 6 days a week and 23 hours for you to be the primary spiritual influencers of your kids. We get them for an hour, and we're going to empower you to be the people who are the spiritual influencers of your kids. What would it be like? What would it be like if we helped you to understand how to raise kids the God's way versus what you're hearing on the street or what your friends are doing? And what would it be like if we became the people who said to single people, it's okay, if you're a single parent, you're our hero, and we want to help you, and we want to support you. And if you're somebody who has never been married or doesn't plan to be married, that's okay. We want to help you be as devoted to God as you can be and live out whatever your calling is. But we want to be a place of traditional nuclear families.